a wonderful class.
All right, everybody. Hi, thank you, Felicia, for that wonderful introduction and getting us set up for a fun class today. Again, my name is Bethany. I'm an education specialist with Singer Sewing, and today we're going to talk all about computerized sewing machines, which they're my fave. I'm going to be very honest with you all. I love computerized sewing machines. I kind of geek out over them, and we're going to kind of take a deep dive. So if you're here today, you're probably interested in learning more about them. Maybe you have one and you want to make sure you're using it to its fullest potential, or maybe you're on the fence about getting one, or you're just not really sure what a computerized sewing machine entails and why you would want one. This class is for you today. As Felicia mentioned, I have two wonderful co-workers in the chat with me today, Amy and Sonny. So as you drop questions in the chat, they are going to be able to help answer them. But if it's one that I need to address, they're going to hop in. You'll hear their voice. They'll let me know what the question is, and I can show it or repeat it here during the class. But my back's probably going to be turned to the chat here in just a minute as we go over the machine. So if I don't see it, they'll definitely take care of it. We have people from all over today joining us. So we welcome you, whether it's still morning, we're hitting the afternoon hour, or later in the day. We're just glad that you're spending some time with us today. All right, so the machines that you're going to see behind me are just a few of the Singer computerized sewing machines that are available through Michael's stores. So I'm just going to show you a few of them. We're going to take a closer look at them here in a second. But before we dive in, I feel like it's important to kind of visually give you like an understanding of the difference from a feature standpoint of a mechanical machine to a computerized machine. So this is going to be kind of like a moment where you're going to go, wow, okay. And if you don't, maybe it's because you're familiar with computerized machines already. But if you have a mechanical machine or ever used one, this is what we call as like a little stitch out sample. So this is kind of the common stitches that you would get on a mechanical sewing machine, one that doesn't have the computerized features. So you've got a good little selection of stitches. You've got probably one buttonhole, maybe two, depending on the mechanical machine that you have. And we have some amazing mechanical sewing machines. So I'm not downplaying them by any means. But what I'm highlighting today is some of the extra things that you can get and the sewing experience, how it changes when you do switch to a computerized machine. So these are some of the stitch out examples from one of our mechanical sewing machines. Now I'm going to show you one of the stitch out samples from one of our heavy duty sewing machines that's computerized. I can't even get it all on the one screen. There's a lot of decorative stitches. There's a lot of different stitch options. We have way more buttonhole options, a slew of extra features. So it's impressive to see. You know, it's one thing to see it here on the machine, but to see each one stitched out is quite impressive. This one right here is even more. I'm going to see if I can get, some of them in here, but this one also has 3 different fonts and a bunch of button holes as well. The fonts are a feature that people love with our computerized machines. I'm pretty sure this stitch out sample is for this machine right here, which we're going to show and talk about. So do you see how, like, just visually how impressive it is to see the difference of what you get with a mechanical machine versus when you get the computerized machine. So that right there is like you're getting a lot of extra options and features. So some of the things that I want to point out, and we're going to kind of talk about this today, is some of the things that you get on a computerized machine, some of those I like to call bells and whistles that you don't necessarily get on a mechanical machine. So we're going to talk about those. Each of these machines is a little different. So depending on the computerized machine, it may have different features than other computerized machines. So we'll talk about that today. So one thing I want you to do, so you have a pen and piece of paper or your phone, take notes on. If you're thinking about your sewing experience, I don't know what you like to sew. It could be so many different things, right? But as we go through these features and we talk about some of them, I want you to think about how those features would impact your sewing experience. Is that a feature that I would love to have on a sewing machine? Like, is that a non-negotiable, right? Like when you're shopping for a sewing machine, and you're looking at features and benefits that come with it, what are some of the ones that you're like, oh, that would be amazing? Or, just write those down, your favorites, because when you go to look at them, you'll see today, like we've got 4 of them here, they all have different things. So if like the scissor snip button is like a must have for you, then you're going to want to find a computerized machine that has that feature. Not all of them do. So that's just one example, but just keep that in mind because there's a lot to choose from, and we want to make sure that you're getting the ones that have the features that are going to best impact your sewing experience. So I'm going to switch the camera. We're going to move in a little closer. So give me just a second to move my camera around. Now I've got quite a few machines here today, so I'm just going to go over the names real quick. Amy's going to be dropping links to these machines in the chat. So if one of these interests you and you want to read up more on it or get more information on it, you can. But the first one we have is the Singer SC220, which is this one back here in the corner. Didn't have room on my table for all 4 to sit on the table. This one right here, which you guys have seen me use a lot in our sewing tutorial classes that we've done, is the Heavy Duty 6700C. And then up here, I'm moving my camera around a bit today. Up here we have the Singer Fashion Mate 5560. And then here we have the Singer Professional C430. So all of these have different features, and we're going to go through them. And the 2 I'm going to kind of show some of those features on is the C430 and the 6700C. But before we dive in too far, I would love to ask a question, and you can leave a comment in the chat and let us know. Do you already own a computerized sewing machine? Do you have a mechanical, but you're interested in, potentially getting a computerized machine? Or is this all new information to you? And then we just kind of want to know where our audience is, so we can make sure the content that we're sharing today is definitely going to benefit you all and help answer your questions. Looks like all new information. It is still in the box. Okay, so that is a great response because it helps me know that some people are very much intimidated by a computerized sewing machine because there's a lot more buttons on it, and we're going to kind of overcome that intimidation today. And hopefully after class, you'll go take it out of the box. Some people say they have one, but they don't really know how to use it. So we're going to go over some of those features today. Like I said, every computerized machine is a little different in some of its features and how you access those. That's where your manual and some video tutorials online can really come in helpful. But we're going to go over some of just the basic features that you might find on your machine that will help you get familiar with some of those features that are common. Okay. So the first one that I'm going to talk about, or one of the features I want to talk about first, and I have it on 3 out of the 4 machines here today, all right, is the slider bar here. And if you're not familiar with what the slider bar is, this is a non-negotiable for me sometimes when it comes to sewing machines, this is the speed control. So, you can push the presser foot on your mechanical machine, and how hard you push the presser foot on your machine, your foot control on the floor, I'm sorry, how hard you push the foot control on the floor determines how fast the machine sews. But you don't always want it to get away from you. You want to have a little more control over that. And that's where the slider comes into play. So if you need to go really slow over a delicate area, or you're new to sewing and you're not comfortable and you don't want to go too fast, you're still learning your machine, then you can put it down to a slower setting. When you get more comfortable with your machine, or you're doing a lot of like straight line stitching or something, you can slide that up. I typically I like to go fast. Okay. I'm, pedal to the metal kind of girl. So you'll see that mine typically are going to be at this higher range, but that's because I'm comfortable with these machines. So this is going to give you a little more control. And so we love a good speed control option. So out of these 3 machines, the SC220 has that. The Singer Heavy Duty 6700C has it. And the C430 has it as well right here. The only one that doesn't have that feature that we're going to be showing today is the Fashion Mate 5560. Okay, so remember, as we go through these features, if you're in the market for one, or you're looking to upgrade to a new computerized machine, a newer one, be sure you write down the features that you feel like would really benefit your sewing experience. The whole point of these computerized machines, I kind of failed to mention to you guys, is all about improving the sewing experience. Okay, so let me move this for just a second. I'm kind of back and forth today, so different setup. One thing as we were talking is computerized sewing is really to help elevate that sewing experience. So, you know, some of these features like speed control, getting the needle up, down, and which we're going to talk about in a second, the knot off option, the scissor button, the start, stop, the play, the sequencing, the lettering, like all of these things can elevate your sewing experience. But some of these basic things that we're starting out with, like speed control, scissor snips, you know, those kind of features are just making the sewing experience of what you're already comfortable sewing more efficient, more control, more ease, more confidence, because you know that this machine is assisting you. It's like having a personal assistant in your sewing experience. So when I remember, I mean, I've been sewing for a very long time, but I remember when I got my first computerized machine, and I never sewed on one before. So I went from a mechanical to computerized. There's a lot of differences, not just all of these features that you kind of get comfortable with and learn, but I don't know, the whole sewing experience is a little different. It's just a different type of machine in general. So once I went computerized, I've never gone really back. I mean, I love sewing with my mechanical machines that we have, and we do projects with them all the time. But it is just that once you've sewn on both, you kind of realize it's a little bit of a different experience. So let's switch back and get a little closer to these machines again. All right, so we talked about speed control. I feel like that's the first one that people need to get familiar with when they have a computerized machine. We want to slow it down. So let me just stitch out real quick and just kind of show you what that sounds like. I hope you can hear it. Sometimes my microphone will mute the machine, and I hope it doesn't today, but it might. But you can at least see the speed difference. So I'm going to turn it all the way down, and let's see here. I'm hitting the foot control on the floor as hard as I can. Like my foot is all the way down. And that's as fast as it's going to go, because I have it at the lowest setting. Nice and steady. I can't get it. You can't run away from me. All right, where are my little scissors here? All right, so now I'm going to do it again. This time, I'm going to kind of move this up to the middle. Let's see here. There we go. Now we're going faster. Now we're on a mission. All right. So see, and I was pushing it all the way down. Now we're going to go full throttle, which is my personal fave. Let's turn it all the way up. Do you see the difference? I mean, I don't know if you could hear it, but you probably could see the difference in that speed control. So just having the ability to control how fast you can sew is amazing. And every single time it stitches perfectly. So you don't have to worry about, is it going to change the stitch? Is it going to look different? Is it going to sew different? It doesn't. It's just all about giving you control of the machine more, which is what we love. All right, so now we've talked about speed control. Do we have any questions about that? Someone asked a question, what makes this machine heavy duty compared to the others? All right, so a heavy duty line of machines, and we have several of them. We have some mechanicals as well. I'm just gonna zoom out for a minute. These machines are built a little differently in the sense that they have a full metal frame all the way through. This gives them, they also have like a different motor as well. So this gives them a little more power and stability and strength to be able to sew through heavier materials like denim, vinyl, faux leather, things like that. So that's really the biggest thing, is it gives you a broader range of materials that you can sew with. At the same time though, this machine can still sew your delicate fabrics, your satins, your cottons, your quilting cottons, your lace, you know, whatever you want to sew. It's just giving you a broader range without with the materials that you can sew on it. And so that's why they call them heavy duties, because they are going to be able to handle a lot more thicker things. Like I've made a vinyl strawberry bag on the heavy duty machine, and it sewed through that vinyl, multiple layers of it really, really well. Again, you know, it's just one of those features of how it's built. The things that you can't see on the outside that impact the sewing are on the inside for the heavy duty. So I hope that helps answer your question. Okay, so if we don't have any questions about speed control, we're going to dive into a couple of these other little features on here. First one we're going to talk about is this one right here. This one is on 3 of the machines out of the 4 that I have today. So this one is a needle up down button, and you're probably going, okay, well, I mean, I can make the needle go up and down. I can turn the hand. Well, you absolutely can, but sometimes we want our needle when we stop sewing to stop in the down position instead of stopping in the up position. So right now it's stopping in the up position, and I'm going to just sew. See how it stops in the up position. But if I hit this, now it stops in the down position. And then I can hit that again and it's in the down position. What helps with this, and why I personally love this feature, is when you're doing anything close to an edge or a corner or something, you need to pivot. So if you're pivoting your fabric as you sew, so you drop it into the down position, you lift your foot, you can pivot your fabric wherever you need to go. Hit that button, lift your foot, pivot your fabric. And you can just, it gives you these sharp corners. And then we're going to pivot again. Needle up down is one of those features that it's hard. Once you have one, it's hard to live without. Look, I kind of sewed a wonky little house here. That was not intentional. I just kept pivoting around the fabric. But so it's allowing you to get these like nice clean corners. It's also great for when you're doing applique and you're needing to kind of turn the fabric as you go around your applique design. You need to leave that needle in the down position to do so. Okay. So out of these machines, the ones that have that are, again, the SC220, our heavy duty 6700C, and the C430 also has the needle up down button. Okay. Now, I know on the mechanical machines, you typically will have, you know, your backstitch button. Sometimes it's not a button though. Sometimes it's a lever and you have to hold the lever down. So it's nice in a computerized way to have this as a button, and its button is right above where your fabric's going to be. So as you're sewing, my hand isn't having to go far from my fabric because my back stitch is close to where I'm sewing. The other thing I love about the backstitch button on a computerized machine is, let's say I'm trying to get to, let's go down here. Say I'm trying to get to this edge so I can turn. And let's say I went 1 stitch too far, you know, like I really needed to go back a stitch. I can just press it one at a time and do 1 back stitch at a time. So if I need to be real precise with my back stitch, because you know, sometimes you hit that back stitch button or that bar that's like over here somewhere, and it like gets away from you, especially when you have the speed all the way up. So to be able to just hit it once over, you know, as many times as you need to get right where you need your position to be. That's another nice feature of the backstitch on a computerized machine. It's just elevating that backstitch experience. So I hope that helps explain that to you. Now, another feature that I want to call out that is not on this machine. but it is on the C430. So we're going to kind of shift over to this machine over here. This is one of the features that I absolutely love. It sounds silly. I know I've been using my little snips today. Our machines also have like the thread cutter here on the side, but sometimes you just don't even know what you're missing until you have this feature. So we're gonna do a little sewing for a second. Again, I have my back stitch. I have my needle up down button. Now this little turtle right here, this is another feature we haven't seen yet. This is in association with the needle up down. So as I'm sewing, if I need to slow down, I can hold this, and then once I let go, you know, push it again, it speeds back up. So no matter what my speed is here, if I have it turned all the way up, if I hit this, it's going to go at like a turtle speed. I love that they gave it the shape of a turtle. I think it's so cute. But what I wanted to show you as well on this machine, so I'm here at the end, I'm done with my stitch, and I want to cut my threads. First of all, the sound that it makes, and I hope it came across on camera, it may not have, is the scissor snip. It trims your thread for you. There's no having to trim on the side. There's no having to find your scissors that keep wandering off. It trims your threads for you. The other thing I love about this is when it trims your threads, you see there's no thread on the top. Like when I first started sewing, there's a thread on the top, but there's no thread down here. It pulls both threads to the back, and you've got both of them right here. You can tie them off, you can snip them, whatever you want to do. It just gives you a little tail, and that's it. So it brings the threads to the back. This is fantastic for pretty much any type of sewing. Anytime I'm sewing, if I've got that scissor snip button on the machine I'm using, I am using that scissor snip button. It's probably one of my favorite features on a computerized machine. But when you are doing decorative stitches, to be able to hit the scissor snip at the end and it bring both of the threads to the back, and then you can tie them off if you need to, you absolutely can do that because you can't back stitch on decorative stitches. Okay. Now, speaking of tying off and knotting off, a feature that the heavy duty machine has that none of the other machines have that we're talking about today is this little knot button right here. So as I mentioned, if we're doing a decorative stitch, you can't back stitch on those. And we're going to show you, I'm going to show you real quick. Let me see if I can lower this a little bit and kind of tilt you down. So on each machine, the decorative stitches are in different places, but on the heavy duty, there are little pullouts right here. Let me tilt you down a little more. So we've got different ones. So obviously we have some pre-programmed stitches like your straight stitch and different needle positions, zigzags, buttonhole, those kind of basic commonly used stitches right here on the machine. You just hit the button and you're on the next stitch. But with your decorative stitches, you have different categories. So here's the category 2, category 3. Here's the rest of category 3, and then category 4 is a lettering stitch with letters and some other shapes and symbols. And so you can choose some of these decorative stitches. They're really fun to play with. I really enjoy, you know, embellishing projects with them. So we can pick one real quick. Let's do this one, the number 10. So when you go on this machine, and as I mentioned before, every computerized machine, how you access some of these like decorative stitches, you're going to access them a little differently. But on this machine, we're going to hit the letter M and see how it changed to the folder number 2. Now it's on folder number 3, which the stitch I want is in folder number 3. But again, you can go to folder number 4 for the lettering and then go back to number 1, which is what's on the home, like the face of the machine here. So let's go to number 3, and then I'm going to type in the number 10 because I want to do stitch number 10. It tells me stitch number 10 here. It tells me which foot I should be using. It tells me the factory settings or the main traditional settings for this particular stitch, but I know I can edit this. I can change the width of the stitch. I can change the length of the stitch. but these little black boxes that pop up, see how they go away when I change it? That lets me know that I'm back to the original setting to get the original look of that stitch. Does that make sense? Okay, so now that I've picked my stitch, it's a little leafy stitch. I'm going to stitch it out, and I'm going to use this knot button. So let me lower you back down here a little bit. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, one of the things to know, and I mentioned this before, is on a decorative stitch, you can't back stitch because it's moving around in different places. So this little knot off helps you kind of secure the beginning and the end of the stitch. So basically what it did is it did a couple of little stitches near each other to kind of tie off the beginning of the decorative stitch. And then I'm just going to use my foot control. Okay, so I'm at the end. Let's pretend I'm at the end of my decorative stitch or where I want it to stop. I could just lift my foot, remove the fabric, trim my thread, but I want to secure the end of this so it doesn't unravel. This little knot off, tie off button did that for me. So now when I remove this, this is secure. It's not going to pull out. And since I did it at the beginning, same thing. This is secure from top to bottom of my stitch, which is really helpful when you're using decorative stitches, is to have the ability to secure the beginning and the end, since again, you can't use the back stitch on them because they do all these fun different shapes. Okay, any questions about that? We're about halfway through our time today, so please do not hesitate to ask questions. I know you're in fantastic hands with Sonny and Amy, but if there's anything I need to repeat, otherwise I'm just going to keep going and showing all my favorite features over here. So one of the things that I talked about earlier is decorative stitches and where you can access them on machines. It's a little different on all of the machines. So we talked about the heavy duty. Let me try to do this. I'm going to do my best to not make you guys seasick here, but we talked about where they are on the heavy duty with these little slide outs. I really love these. They're very secure. So you'll see those on our computerized heavy duty machines. On the SC220 that's up here, you're going to see all of those decorative stitches played out on the front. So they're all listed here. And you're going to type in the number that you want, or actually you're not typing it in. You're going to go through the list this way. And you can work backwards as well. Okay, so we've got that as an option, and then we have our lettering, which is this A, and that takes us down to these as well. Simple enough, right? So this is how you're going to access all of these stitches, and they're right here. Everything that comes with this machine that it can do is right here on the front of it. This can actually be really helpful to visually lay them all out and be able to see them side by side. Just to reiterate, this machine does have your speed control. It does have the needle up down, does have our back stitch button in a good place. And then the last thing we're going to talk about today is this little play pause button, which I'll show you last, but it does have that feature. All right. Now we're going to hop on over to the Fashion Mate 5560. Now this one I would consider more of like a entry level into computerized out of the four. So out of the four, this one doesn't have as many of the features that we've talked about so far today, but it's still a wonderful computerized machine. So if you're not ready to go full throttle with all the features and you want to kind of ease into computerized machines, this is an awesome, great option. This machine actually also comes with an extension table. I just didn't have room to sit it on here today, but it does have one that comes in the box. So this machine, the simplicity of it, you're getting some of the computerized features, but the simplicity of it is that you don't have a ton of buttons here, and you just have your back stitch button right there. Okay. Now, Over here on the front, you're going to see the stitches, the decorative stitches, and those options. Again, you're selecting by going through here and seeing it displayed. And then you can make your changes by your stitch length, your stitch width. It's a good introduction to computerized sewing machines. Okay. And then we're going to come over here to the C430. See if I can get my chair out of the way and lower this back down. So out of these four, I would say this one has the most features collectively out of the four that we've talked about today. This is going to have our slider for our speed control, obviously our back stitch. We have our needle up, down, but we also have our little turtle friend. Let me get you guys a little closer here. So this is when we need to slow it down for a particular spot. We have our scissor snips, which you guys know I love. And then we can sort through our stitches here using all of these buttons and then selecting features here. So we've obviously got some different features that we can choose from. And then at the very top, this one displays all of its list of decorative stitches at the very top of the machine, and it just closes and then it will open back up. So this is where you're going to find, and this is common with a lot of machines, just to find it displayed here on the top, right where you thread and can wind a bobbin. So one thing to point out is when looking at these kind of lists is like understanding the different categories. So where you have this symbol here with the straight stitch and the zigzag stitch, this is the beginning of this whole category, and it continues all the way through to the buttonholes. Okay. When you get to this, where it has the little flower stitch and the ABC, this is starting your second category of stitches with some additional decorative stitches, and then all of your lettering options. So when you look at these two different categories and you find those symbols on the front of your machine, you know that when you hit this, you're now going to sort through all of those stitches in the first category, and they're in order. So you can sort through that way. And this one does go in the opposite direction. So you don't have to go from start to end to get here. You can go backwards. So that's a nice feature as well. And then if I picked the lettering one, it's going to start here at the beginning and go through these stitches. It's going to give me options for some other really fun, cute stitches, like the little puppy dog I love. So if I want to select one of these stitches, I hit the button with the arrow directly underneath that stitch. Okay, so now that I've got that stitch selected, I may want to edit that stitch. So this little E is the edit button. This is going to allow me to do some features and change some things about this stitch. One of the things I love to change about these little shape stitches is which direction they're going in. Some of them are the same either way, but some of them are different. Like maybe I want the little doggy facing the other way. So this is a little mirror button, and I can change which way. So now my dog's going to be upside down. Maybe he's going to be facing the other way. Maybe he's going to be upside down and facing the other way, but you have options to change it. Now it's not going to change what it looks like here, but it's going to change which direction it's being stitched out. So this is where you can get really deep into some computerized features and really have some fun and play around. Getting into all of this when you first get a computerized machine is not the priority. When you first get one, you want to get comfortable with some of these basic features here and how to select the stitch you need. And then once you get comfortable with using these and understand how they're elevating your sewing experience, then you can dive into these other features like editing these decorative stitches. Okay, so maybe I want to go, let's see here, back to here. Maybe I want to type in the word dog. So I'm going to space over. So I'm next to the puppy dog, and I want to type in the letter D. Let's see here. O, G. There we go. So now I can stitch out a little doggy and type out the word dog. And then if I want to go back to, let's go, oh, there's different fonts. There's bold. You can, this one has a lot to choose from, which is super fun. I can go back to the little puppy dog. I'm going to highlight him. I'm going to hit edit. And this one, I want it to face the opposite direction. So this one's going to actually stitch out going this way. It's going to spell the word dog, and then that one's going to actually face the other way. So now that I've got that in place, okay, let me go back to here. Okay, so now that I've got my little sequence created, how fun is that? Let's just stitch it out. Let's just see how it goes. These are always fun. Now, the other thing that's really cool about this machine, the heavy duty 6700C and the SC220, okay? All of them but that Fashion Mate, is we have a start stop button, okay? Now on these two machines, it looks like a play and a pause button. We have one here and we have one up here. On the C430, it just calls it what it is. It's a start stop, okay? So when you build a sequence, which you can do on these machines, of stitches and things like this, you can just hit start and it will, I'm going to drop my needle, it will start stitching this out. Oh, now some of these, this is good to know. See how I hit this and I got a little alert? This is telling me that my foot control is still plugged into the machine. In order to access this start stop feature on the C430, you unplug the foot control, which is really easy to do. If you don't want to use the start stop, you can just leave this plugged in and press the foot control on the floor and let it stitch out to the end. But we're going to unplug it. So this is not plugged in. And now I'm going to hit start. And actually, I'm going to slow this speed down a little bit since we're doing some decorative stitches.
So Bethany, this is Sonny.
Yes.
While you are stitching this out, which is very cool, I love that you're doing that. There's been a question about actually filling the bobbin. Someone was just hoping we would just do a quick little demonstration, and I'm not sure which machine. Amy's asking which machine, but they all feel kind of the same, but we'll when you get done with that and we find the machine, if you could do that, that would be fabulous.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so one thing I didn't do, and I'm going to hit stop. Okay, so I love that this happened because this is, again, another example of how this machine and how computerized machines give you control and remembering to add, put those things in. So one thing that happened, well, let me put my needle up and, whoop, sorry. I guess I could have used my scissor snip. I forgot this one has it. So this one stitched it out, but it kept repeating the sequence. I was like, why is this taking so long to stitch out, two dogs and the word dog, and then I was like, oh, it's repeating itself. And I happened to stop it right at the perfect point. I don't know how I managed to do that, but if you don't put this, there's a period or dot symbol and it's up here. So let me find it for you and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's just kind of reset. So if you don't put a stop, okay, it's like a period at the end of a sentence. If you don't put this symbol at the end of your sequence that we created, we created the little doggy, the word dog and the dog. If you don't put that, it's going to repeat that sequence over and over, which is exactly what happened, which is fine. But on your project, maybe you don't want it to repeat and you want to tell it when to stop stitching. So let's go back to, let's see here. So here's our sequence that we created. Now up here, I need to select this symbol. So I'm going to go further through my list here. It's this one, number 34 on this machine. That's telling it when to stop. So if I stitch it out again, which I can real quick, this one stitches out really quickly. So again, my foot, we're still unplugged over here. Okay. So I'm just going to hit start. I'm going to start over from the beginning, make my little doggy, spell out the word dog, and then stop because I added that punctuation. The other cool thing is you can see where it is in the progress here. So it's finished with most of the letters. They disappear. There, it's done with the letter G, and now it's sewing up the last little doggy symbol. All right, so it's done. It stops on its own. I'm gonna hit my little scissor snip this time. It's gonna trim my thread for me. And there's my little puppy dogs. How cute is that? And remember, this one's facing this way, and then this one I turned to face the other way. So even though it doesn't turn here, I edited that stitch to flip it. So now I have it going both ways. I think you had a question.
Yeah, Bethany, that I was just going to say I love the mirror image that you did, but you can actually wind a bobbin on any machine.
Okay.
It really is just to show how easy it is.
Okay, I'm going to do it on this one because it's a little easier for me to get to it, and it's plugged in to do that. So let me kind of tilt this down so you guys can see the top of the machine a little better. I hope you can't hear my neighbor mowing. I love that they always want to mow when I'm doing a live Zoom class. It never fails. Just my luck. But anyway, so we've got a bobbin in here already. And I'll show you how to load most of these machines. All but one of these machines is a top load. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second. I'm actually going to stand up so I can see and try not to bump the camera. So bear with me. So I've got my thread here, and it's going to stay in the machine. Let's see if I can get you guys a little higher and tilt it down just a little more. I just want you all to be able to see, and we get this right the first time because I only have one empty bobbin here in my studio right now, so I want to make sure you get it really well. Okay. Now, one thing to note is the direction that you thread your machine is a little different on every machine, okay? So if I'm threading this machine, I've got my, little hook here, but there's always like arrows and numbers. Like, so for the solid line, that's to thread my machine. But for the dotted line, that's to do my bobbin, okay? So I want to start with number 1. So both bobbin and top threading to the needle or whatever is going to start at number 1, which is this right here. Now, if I wanted to thread the machine, I would come over here to number 2 and go all the way down and up, back up. Now for the bobbin, I don't want to go to that number 2. I want to follow this dotted line around this tension disc right here. And you want to make sure it's going in the direction that this line is going. And then there's an arrow telling me to go all the way over here, okay? So you want to pay attention to that, which way this is going. I've had another machine yesterday that didn't go that direction. It went this way and went around. So you just need to pay attention. Every time you're using a different machine or a new machine, just pay attention to those symbols. One thing that Singer does really well is giving you these diagrams on the top of the machines. All right, so now we're going to come all the way over to this side. Again, we've got some more little diagrams here. I'm going to trim this real quick. Okay, so I've got just a clear class 15 bobbin that goes in our Singer machine. And what it's telling me to do with number 2, let me see if you can see this. Get a little closer. Let me move this a little closer. Number 2 is telling me to go into the bobbin and then go up out of the hole out the top. So I've got hole right here. So you don't want to go down into the hole from the top. You want to go in from the middle of the bobbin and thread that little hole. There we go. And bring it out the top. Okay. So that's where that is. And then I'm going to place my bobbin down onto this spindle right here. It kind of snaps into place. So we went from 2 to 3 to have my thread coming out the top of that hole. And then the bobbin for number 4 is going to go down onto this post right here. Now number 5 tells me to push this post over to this little, I call it the bumper. It's like a little stopper. It's going to let me know when my bobbin is full and it's going to stop it. So I'm going to lock that into place. And I'm going to hold on to this top thread. Okay. Then I'm going to find my foot control on the floor. And I'm going to just slowly start pressing it. I'm still holding that top thread. I don't want it to get tangled up in there. Now that I've gotten it going a little bit, I can stop and trim that, and it's going to stay right where it needs to and not get tangled. Now, with a bobbin, you do not have to fill it up. That sounded very country of me. I'm sorry. I'm from Tennessee, y'all. Sorry, I have my moments. So you do not have to fill your bobbin completely full. If you're just doing a little bit of this thread as a decorative stitch or something, don't waste the thread by filling the entire bobbin up. You may not use that thread again or need it in a bobbin again. So just use the amount that you need or kind of judge it. But if you're going to be sewing a lot with this color, you can fill it up. So I'm going to let this wind. Now, another thing to note here is my speed control. It does impact the speed at which your bobbin winds, okay, on a computerized machine. So if I slow this down, that's as fast as it's going to wind this bobbin. We're going to be here all day. So I'm going to speed that back up. And it's going to continue to wind my bobbin. And then when it gets full, this little bumper is going to tell it when it's full, and it's going to stop winding the bobbin. I could go faster. All right. So see how it stops spinning? That's because it's this bumper right here is saying like, hey, this bobbin's full. You don't need to keep winding it. We don't want to overfill it, okay? So I'm going to slide this bar to the left. I'm going to lift my bobbin up and out and trim my bobbin thread. And now I have a nice, beautiful bobbin with a little tail here. So let's now put this bobbin into the machine. And I'm going to show you how to do it with a top load. And then I can show you what it looks like with a front load, because we do have one machine today that uses a front load. So top load is going to be your most common bobbin situation on a machine, especially on computerized machines. It's going to have this little clear cover. Personally, I'm a big fan of these because I can keep an eye on how much thread is left in my bobbin, because nothing is worse than running out of your bobbin mid-stitch on a project you're almost done with. I mean, I feel like I'm always playing chicken with my bobbin. Okay, so again, this one on the heavy duty 6700C, it's a drop-in, and it's also going to tell us which way our thread needs to go. And it's got a little built-in thread cutter. Now, not all of these do that. This one does. It's just one of those features that if you like it, then it's something you need to look for on a computerized machine. So I've got the bobbin here, and I want you to note which way it's going. So this is going to be the same for these machines. I think of it as the letter P. P as in Paul, okay? And so my tail comes up and then it makes the letter P. That's how I want it to go in my machine. So I just drop it down in there, so easy. And then there's this little tension catch right here. And you just wanna, okay, so now I've got my thread going up under here where this little arrow is pointing. And it's going to go all the way up and around, back around here. And then I like to put my little clear top on, and then you can just pull that and it cuts your tail. Easy as that. Okay. Any questions about that? I hope you guys got a good understanding of that one. Now I'm going to try to show you this front load. It's back here. So let me kind of change the camera a little bit. Give me just a second. Appreciate you all being patient with me today with my camera moving around quite a bit, but we have a lot to show you today. Normally I'm just working with one machine, so we don't have that. Now you see, excuse me, this machine, you don't see the bobbin on the top. It is on the front. So you take off your accessory tray. We've got our accessories in here. And I'm going to actually pull this out so you can see it up close. Okay. We're going to take our accessory tray and put it to the side. And this is where our bobbin lives. We've got some nice diagrams on how to load these bobbins. They look like this. So we've got a metal bobbin, and we've got this casing that it goes into, and it just pops down in there. and then you feed your thread through here, and it snaps in with this little lever. So when you open this here, you'll see this bobbin casing. I cannot zoom in any closer, but hopefully you guys can see this. And so this, there's a little bump right here at the top, and this just slides right in. It's easier when you don't have a camera in your face. All right, so you hear this little snap. There we go. Now it's snapped in, and I would close this door, and I would use my top thread and my hand wheel to bring the bobbin thread to the top, and then I would reattach this, and we're ready to sew. So this is how a lot of like older machines or some of our mechanical machines, or even this computerized machine, sometimes they do have these front load bobbins. That's perfectly fine. I've used these for many, many, many years. I will say personally, I do love the visual of the front load or the top load, but again, this is perfectly fine too. And then you just pull this little lever right here to pull it back out to change your bobbin. So that's the difference between the two. And I hope that helps explain that. Any other questions, Sonny, that I need to address?
I don't think so. I'm just finishing up. There was a question about threads, and so just kind of making sure we get that as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, on that note, let me switch my camera and say hi again. I appreciate you all listening and tuning in today. I know computerized machines can be intimidating and a little overwhelming. We did share a lot today. All of these machines have slight variances, so I hope you took some time to write down some of the features that were like, oh, I would really like that. For me, having these machines and having the features as simple as the needle up down, the scissor snip, the tie off button, all of those features are what makes my sewing experience just more enjoyable for me personally. So don't be intimidated by these. I know all of the stitches and all of that can be a little overwhelming, but you don't have to use those. It's really these kind of main key features like speed control that can elevate your sewing experience and give you control over it. Then you're in control of the machine instead of the machine kind of running away from you. So I hope this helps answer some questions. If you have any more, of course, I know Amy linked all of these machines in the chat today for you. So I hope you take some time to go read up on some of those additional features and benefits. They all come with different accessories. As I mentioned, that Fashion Mate comes with an extension table. So just things to keep in mind when you're shopping around for a computerized machine. My goal for this class was to make sure that you left with some new knowledge of these machines and maybe some confidence that you could totally sew and enjoy your sewing experience on one of these. It's truly personal favorite. I'm not gonna lie. Now I see a question about, do these come with a printed manual? For our Singer machines, you're going to be able to download the manual online. It just helps save on paper, but you will have like a little getting started kind of information in the box. So you're not left without any information. You definitely are set up for success right out of the box with the tools that you need to get started. All right, now for our next class, which I only have a couple more minutes. So for our next class in September, it's going to be September 14th at noon. Central Standard Time. And we're going to be doing something a little different, kind of like we did today. September is our National Sewing Month. Like it's all about sewing. And Michael's asked us to maybe revisit some of the projects we've done. Now, I don't know if you know this, but we have been doing these Zoom classes with Michael's and Singer for over about 2.5 years. So we've done a lot of projects, and some of you may not have been around for those. So we're going to revisit some of those projects we've done together. And then I have a special project, one of my personal favorites I've ever created. I'm going to be gifting to you guys in a tutorial. So we're going to have that for you. We're not going to sew it up in the class because it's one of those that we couldn't get done in an hour. But it's an amazing project. I'm so excited for you to see it. And so come into that class. We're going to talk about all the things we've learned, give you some great tools and resources, and then a new project to be able to do on your own. All right. Any questions? Can you quilt with these machines? Absolutely. Absolutely you can. Especially like some of these have extension tables, which are very helpful with quilting. Throw on a walking foot and you're good to go. Yes. Great questions. Can't wait for the next class. Thank you for all your tips. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next month. Don't forget, it's National Sewing Month in September. All right. Bye, guys. Happy sewing.